Hey friends, my name is Angela, and this week I thought I would do something a little bit different. I spent the last week in Tennessee at the Great Smoky Mountains, and of course I had to do some thrifting. Unfortunately, this area was really more filled with antiques and a lot higher prices, even in their thrift stores. So I didn't find a whole lot of things to bring home, but still wanted to take you guys along the journey and show you what I did find. The first store I went to was called Leconte Volunteer Thrift Shop, kind of tucked right off the main highway in Sevierville, Tennessee. This store had a lot more clothing than home decor, but there was still some really beautiful pieces like these etched vases. I just loved the detail and design on this. The shorter one was $12 and then the taller one was $9. I have seen a few creators make over these long back stools. I wish I would have picked this one up. I've never seen anything like this in my area. It was $8. This picnic basket was so fun, but a little pricey at $20. I was looking for some lace to use in an upcoming project and found some great options at this store at great prices. Next up, we're heading to Smarm thrift store. I think this place was my favorite. They have a great collection of old and vintage pieces. Right away, I saw this stunning spindle chair. It was only $12.99, and I wish I would have picked it up, but I didn't know where I would put it. So I did leave it behind, but this is a piece I just keep on thinking about. Such a bummer. I saw so many old Singer sewing machines in this area. If you watch Julie's Designs and Signs, she has turned the bases of these into side tables. Such a great idea. I also saw a ton of these old spindle bed frames. I would have loved to pick one of these up, but there's no way I could have fit that in my SUV for the drive home with 2 kids in the back seat. I wish I could find something like this in my area, but I just never do. I want to DIY one of these little side tables. I'm sure I could make it for less than $25. I love how this store had everything labeled. I had no clue what this piece was, and then saw it's a vintage butter churn. So cool. Another Singer sewing machine in the same store. I loved the patina on these brass pieces. So stunning. This is another piece I was thinking about buying. Can you tell I have my eye out for spindles right now? I would have used this for a plant stand. I thought these glass light covers would make a beautiful terrarium or a lantern, but I don't think they were old at all, so I decided to pass on them. Next, I'm going to Smarm thrift store, which stands for Smoky Mountain Area Rescue Ministries. Right off the bat, these tall brass candle holders caught my eye with all of that beautiful detail, but $75? No thank you. This piece is so unique. It's a 19th century metamorphic armchair or library ladder. But again, with those prices, if you watch Heather at Create Your Own Cozy, she was in Pigeon Forge 2 weeks before I was, and she was thrifting as well. I was so excited when I watched her video until she started saying how they had a lot more antiques and higher prices, so I kind of knew what to expect coming here. It was still a lot of fun to see all of these vintage items, even though I didn't get to buy a whole lot. And my son had to be a goofball. He begged me to keep this in the video, so here you go. This one definitely reminds me of a Dollar Tree DIY project with the mason jar and some E6000 glued to the candlestick. What do you think? This vanity did not have a price on it, but so gorgeous. I would even love to have just that mirror on top of it. I thought these plates were so unique. I've never seen ones quite like this. They were not smooth like most china is. They had more of a stone texture, and I just love that color palette. All right, the last place we checked out was a flea market called Flea Trader's Paradise. They were only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The lighting in here is so bad, so sorry about that. There were only a few booths here with unique vintage pieces. These ceramic Christmas trees reminded me of ones my mom had when I was growing up that were actually my grandmother's. This was one of my favorite booths with all of the beautiful lace and vintage pieces. I love this table mirror. There was an outdoor area of the flea market as well, but I really didn't see much there. These Crocs were really cool. Can anyone tell me what the numbers on the Crocs mean? My mom was asking, but I'm not entirely sure what they're for. I thought these feeders were so unique. This lady took mason jars and candy dishes or lampshades to make them. That was so genius and so different. So I had two things on my list of what I wanted to look for. One of them being some lace, which I did mention in the video, and then the other thing I wanted to find was some vintage knobs or vintage poles. So at the very first store, I found both of these, which was a score. So the first piece is this lace. I just thought it was so beautiful. It was only $3. What a great find. And then I loved it because it had all of this really pretty like edge details there. It wasn't just straight across. Some of it is, but I have an idea of what I want to do with this coming up in a future video. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be working with some lace and clay. And also at the same thrift store, what was that first one that we went to? Oh, that Leconte volunteer thrift store. That was the first one. My mom found this baggie full of vintage drawer pulls on it, which is exactly what it says on the bag, vintage drawer pulls. And I needed one for another project coming up. So let me show you what all they had in here. A couple of different varieties, and this was $4. So two of these really beautiful little brass pieces. Here you go. The little brass pieces. I just love the little intricate detail on these. And then a couple varieties of knobs, which really was what I had wanted. So if you can see those, the really pretty detail on these brass pieces. Both of the brass ones came with 2, and then the white one was a set of 4, which was awesome. So that was a great find. It got both things knocked off my list right away. And the last thing I found at this store was this really pretty bud vase. I just really loved the painting on it with the little daisies and the green and white. This just fits really nicely into my home, and it was only $1. Next, we ended up going to Goodwill, but I didn't even film anything in there because this Goodwill was honestly pretty terrible. There was nothing good to find in there. Their prices were way too high. It was a lot of Christmas stuff and then more clothing than home decor. So I didn't even bother filming in that one. So next up at Smarm, that was my favorite place to go. They just had so many unique pieces and really vintage things. Again, really expensive, but I did find this little wicker basket 4-piece set. It was $5.99, but I am working on a basket wall? Is that what it's called? The name is escaping me, a basket wall. And I already have a lot to put in on it, but I thought these would be perfect since they're really flat and more of a dark color. I have other ones of these that are a lot lighter, so love the contrast. Oh, also at, I think it was at that store. I think it was at Smarm. My mom found this really beautiful plate, and unfortunately, as soon as we got back to the hotel, she grabbed the bag to take it out of the car and it dropped and broke, which was really sad, but it was only $2.99. So I thought I could put it back together for her, but it was in just too many pieces. This is what it would look like. I think you can get a pretty good idea. Really pretty. Thankfully it was only $2.99, so it wasn't too terribly Next up was, I think it's pronounced Smarm, that Smoky Mountain Area Rescue Ministries. That place was also really cool. They had a lot of great finds and a lot of small things that weren't terribly expensive. So the first thing I found, which you probably could have told from the video of the shopping portion, but was this vase. And I have another one so similar to this. This one was $10, but I did find another one in Pennsylvania where I live. Let me grab that one. So here is the one that I found a few months ago. They are the exact same thing, just different colors. These are made out of 100% recycled glass, made in Spain. I just thought it was really cool that I found both of these pieces in 2 different states. I mean, I know it's not super unlikely, but I just thought it was cool from a thrift store. And then next from that same place, I got these set of 3 brass candlesticks. Now, when we were shopping around, I only saw the 2 of them, but on the tag, it said set of 3. So it had said set of 3 for $18, but I had only seen the 2 sitting on the shelf. We looked everywhere around, and I went up to the register and I told the lady, I was like, you know, this says it's a set of 3, but I only see 2 back there. Well, one of the other girls who worked there knew exactly where the 3rd one was and was able to find it for us. So I was able to get all 3 of these, and I needed a few more brass candlestick holders for like just some of my display vignettes around my house. I love having varying heights and varying styles to put in with my decor. So next was at the flea market. I found this vintage medicine jar. I think it was a cleaner actually, but I love the amber glass, very on trend. This one was only $2. Such a great steal. I love whenever you can see all of that like residue and stuff in the side of the bottles. So I just thought it was really cool. I have a couple other ones of these that I've collected. I have this authentic Clorox bottle. Again, it has all of that residue inside. I just love it. So now I have a few different sizes of these, which I have on my ladder shelf, a couple different like amber glass bottles that I just have in a vignette. So I needed one more that was this perfect size. So I was so excited when I found this one. So that was it for the thrifting, but I also had a couple of pieces that I bought from some local artists down there that I still wanted to show you because I just think they were so cool and so unique. So this one is a piece of pottery, handmade pottery from Smoky Mountain Art. And I will pop that up on the screen for you as well. This one was $25, so a little bit more pricey, but I just thought it was so beautiful with the black and the greens into some blues. And this is just gonna go really nice in my decor. The other one is a candle. So I just thought, again, this was just such beautiful work. Like I just love the colors. This one was $20, so also a little expensive for it being a candle. And this was from, it was the Old Mill Pigeon River Pottery. And I just, again, love to support local artists, and I love these like unique pottery pieces to just have staggered throughout. The last thing is not really a thrift store by any means. It's from the Dollar Tree, but the Dollar Tree down there was a Dollar Tree Plus, which I have never seen. I've never been in a Dollar Tree Plus. There are none in my area that I know of. So I was really excited when I saw it. Honestly, it was a little underwhelming. I'll pop some footage up so you can see this section. It was like, I think one aisle of, it wasn't even a full aisle, it was like a half an aisle of some items that were a little more expensive and not really worth it in my opinion. The only thing I did grab were these wood rounds. They were $3 each, so I thought I could do something really fun with these to create a DIY with. I actually have an idea if I can find a nice chunky spindle for that one, like, I'm sorry, all the noise, my dog is walking back and forth. That one like plant stand, side table, lamp stand, whatever you want to call it, that I had showed at, I think that was at Carm. And I just thought it was really cool and something that I could make. So I might be able to use these as like the top and bottom to it, and then be able to find a chunky spindle so that I can create that look. But we'll see. All right, you guys, that does it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed coming along thrifting with me, even though it wasn't super exciting in the Smoky Mountains. But let me know if you have any good places to hit up in the Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville area. Leave that in the comments below for other people who are traveling out that way, and I'll see you in the next one.